שיעור בגמרא במציע פרק השכר האומנים, דף ע"ט עמוד א', about 10 lines from the top of the Gemara. The sugya is going to talk about Omar Rabbi Baravuna Omar Rav. Line begins with the words Kelirchoi v'lo adami, and in the Rashi, the second line from the top. So we're going to start. Omar Rabbi Baravuna Omar Rav, השוכר סחמויר לרחוי ולאו. Somebody rented a donkey to go to a specific place, and he's riding on the donkey. And in the middle of the way, the donkey died. Now he has no way to continue the way. So the question is, what happens when he comes back to the maskir? Does he have to pay anything? Says Rav, number one, the Soicher has to give to the maskir the payment of half of the way till the donkey died. And number two, and the Soicher also, as on the maskir, has complaints that he gave him a lousy donkey. Let's see the Rashi. The Soicher only has on the maskir that he rent him a skinny donkey. Okay. Now the Gemara is going to challenge this particular halacha, these two dinim. What is the exact case of Rav? If he's able to rent another donkey wherever he is, that cannot be the case of Rav. Why? Why does he have any complaints? He should have no right to have any complaints. Why? Let him rent. It's honest. Let him rent and continue his way and be happy. And that's it. And if he cannot find to rent another donkey where he's at, should he have to give him any money? He shouldn't have to give him anything. So either way, it doesn't match to what Rav says. And for the truth is, he cannot find another donkey to rent. Now this piece of Gemara is going to be the way we're going to learn the simple way, the way it sounds in the Gemara, and then we're going to see how Tosfos correct the Gemara. Again, the truth is the is not able to rent another donkey, and so therefore we ask a question before, why does he have to pay? Because the master tells him, if you wanted to come to the middle of the way, wherever the donkey died, wouldn't you have to pay money? So I got you to the middle of the way, so pay me. Let's now as soon as you read those words, it doesn't make sense. What do you mean he tells them, I got you to the middle of the way? I don't want to be in the middle of the way. My destination is 100 miles away from there. So why are you telling me, if you wanted to come to the middle of the way, you would have to pay me? But I don't. Let's see the Tosfos, the first Tosfos on the Home. It's a wonder. Now that I didn't want to come till here, why do you have to pay him anything? So what's the answer for the Gemara? So Tosfos is going to answer two answers in two ways. What does it mean that he cannot rent? Let's see the first one. That it says that you cannot find to rent doesn't mean that he cannot, period, cannot. I know it means according to the same price that he rented from the first guy. Let's say he rented a donkey for $100, he cannot, in the new place, he cannot find for $100. But for a little bit more, he's going to be able, he's going to find to rent. So therefore, he's going to be able to continue. So therefore, he did benefit to come to the middle of the way because he's able to continue by renting for a little bit more. That's why he has to pay him for half of the way, because he did benefit. So when the Gemara says that he cannot find to rent, it means he cannot find to rent for the same price. Now, Tosfos wants to clarify. The maskir doesn't have to deduct from his payment whatever the Soicher pays a little bit more for the rest of the way. He doesn't have to deduct it. Why not? Because it's annoyance, so therefore it's nobody's fault, so the maskir doesn't lose. Inami, another pshat in the Gemara, what does it mean? That he cannot find to rent. According to the second pshat, you're right, he cannot find to rent. But He's able to sell his stuff, whatever he brought, his merchandise, in the place where the donkey died. Ve'yarviach bo, and he will benefit, he will gain. Therefore, he did. Ve'yesoichim arbe shein meviim schirosem el ad kan. And there is many business people who only bring their merchandise only till here. Therefore, that's why he gives them a half of the payment, because he benefit to come to the half of the way. Now, according to the Gemara, we're going to choose the first pshat, that he's able to rent for a little bit more. It just fits a little bit better from the Gemara. So now let's read the teretz of the Gemara again, according to the first Tosfos answer. Back to the Gemara, the line begins with the word le'olam. And for the Gemara le'olam, the lo shchiach la'aguri, he's not able to find to rent for the same price, rather for a little bit more. And the reason that he has to pay, the masker tells him, if you wanted to come till here, wouldn't you have to pay? I benefit you. You got in the middle of the way. You will be able to continue. Let's see if we have any Rashi. No Rashi. Yeah, there is one Rashi. The Shchiach leMegal says Rashi, Moitze chamoyer acher kan lischem. He finds another donkey to rent. Back to the Gemara. Now the Gemara is still challenging what is the exact case of Rav. Frag the Elke Gemara. Line begins with the word leMesav. Eichidomi, what is the exact case of Rav? We have to give a little bit of introduction. What's chamoyer stam? What's chamoyer zeh? When you rent an item from a rental company, there's two ways of renting it. Either the rental company tells you, we are renting to you any donkey. A donkey, not any donkey, a donkey. When the rental company says that sentence, that they're renting you a donkey, that means that they're committing to take care of you from any donkey that they have. If something happens to the donkey that you took, they are still committed to take care of you from any donkey they have, or any way that they possibly be. Another way, the rental company will tell you, we're renting to you this donkey, chamoyer zeh. In such a case, the commitment from the rental company is only to take care of you from this donkey, not from any other donkey. However it can be. Now let's see how it fit in the question of the Gemara. Frag the Elke Gemara, Eichidami. What is the exact case of Rav? Idom alei chamoyer stam. If the masker told the Soicher, I'm renting to you a donkey, therefore they're committed to take care of him from any donkey. So that cannot be the case of Rav. Why? He has to give him another donkey. And if he doesn't give them another donkey, he doesn't have to pay him anything. You didn't take care of me. I went and I had to rent another donkey, whatever I am. So you didn't take care of me, so therefore I don't have to pay you. And if the rental company told them that we're renting you this donkey, so the commitment is only from this donkey, so again it doesn't make sense what Rav says. Why? Because now that he said chamoyer zeh, so the rental company has to commit to take care of him from this donkey. So what? So if there is enough money to sell the dead behemoth and to generate enough money to rent, to buy another donkey, even a little bit cheaper, let him buy. And therefore, how much should he have to, if he buys another donkey, he's going to have to pay the whole way, not the half of the way, the whole thing. And he's not going to have any taroimus. And for the Elke Gemara, lo yitzricho, we don't need the case of Rav, only b'shem b'domei alikach. Only when there's not enough money to buy. For the Elke Gemara, it's still, im yesh b'domei aliskoi, if there is enough money to rent from the dead nevela, let him rent from the dead nevela. Why doesn't he get to do that? And therefore, if he gets to do that, he's going to be very happy. He's going to give them a half of the rent. He's going to rent another donkey, and therefore he's not going to have any complaints because he was fully taken care of. And for the Elke Gemara, Rav goes according to his reason that there is enough money to rent, but he cannot. Why not? Rav says that you're not allowed to finish the original item that you got. What does that mean? The donkey is dead. Now, you can't just leave the dead donkey in the street and just let it rot, because you're wasting money. It's worth money. You have to bring back that value back to the rental company. You can't just dump it. What you can do is you have an obligation to sell the dead behemoth and get money. And you could rent, the option for the Gemara was let you rent. But the Rav holds you cannot rent anymore. Why can't you rent? Because if you rent, you're not going to bring back anything to the rental company. You're going to come back empty-handed. And coming back empty-handed, you're not allowed according to Rav. Because Rav looks at the benefit of the maskir of the rental company that they have to be taken care of. Now we're going to read the Rashis. Rashi's is the last word of the third line. Im yesh bedomim shel nevela, if there is enough money with a dead behemoth, lekach boy chamoy kol shu, to buy any type of donkey, even less, even cheaper, ikach. Let him buy. V'yashlim darkoi, and he'll continue his way. Why does he get to do that? Why does he get to buy the nevela and buy another donkey? Do shiber lechamer zeh. He committed, the masker committed for him from this donkey. If it died, he has to give him another donkey. And in this case, what does it mean another donkey? That he buys from the nevela another donkey. And the Gemara answers, there's not enough money to buy. And the Gemara asks, this is all in Rashi, line begins with the word parchinon. The soicher should sell the nevela wherever he's at, and he should rent a donkey to himself. Why does he get to do that? Because the master committed from this donkey. That's the only way you can commit taking care of him. If it died, he has to give him another donkey. Next Rashi. So Rashi wants to clarify. You're telling me that you're not allowed to finish the keren, and therefore it comes out that the soicha will not be taken care of. In our Mishnah, we learn that Meisoi, if he died, he has to give him another donkey. So it's kind of a contradiction between what Rav says and what the Mishnah says. So Rashi clarifies. When it says in the Mishnah that the masker has to give him another donkey, when is it? When the donkey died right outside of the owner's house, of the masker's house. That in such a case, the moisif, that the owner adds more money, and he buys another donkey, and he doesn't finish his keren. But here, in this case, what Rav, that he's in the middle of the way, the masker is not able to take care of him, but to sell it. But to sell the dead nevela. And to buy and to rent another donkey, Lord, that you cannot do according to Rav. Continue the Gemara, back to the Gemara. Now the Gemara brings that the Rav said such a thing. The Itma will learn an argument of Amiroim. Somebody rented a donkey and he died in the middle of the way. Omarav, if there is enough money to buy another donkey from the money of the dead donkey, he can buy it. Liskoil. But if there's only enough money to rent, al liskoil, he cannot rent. Shmuel Omar, af liskoil, even if there's only enough money to rent, iskoil is able to rent. What is the explanation of the argument between the two of them? So the Gemara answers, Rav Sova, Rav holds, loy mechalinan karyon, you're not allowed to finish the original item that you got from the balabais, from the maskir, because we look at his benefit. Shmuel Sova, mechalinan karyon, Shmuel holds that you're allowed to finish the original item that you got from the maskir, because you have to take care of the customer. You have to take care of the customer. I'm going to continue. So now the Gemara is going to challenge Rav's ruling that you're not allowed to finish the keren. Ask Akash and Rav from a Bryce. Just clarify a few halachas. One halacha, number one, when a person borrows money from someone, and let's say Reuven borrows money from Shimon, and Reuven gave Shimon a mashken, a collateral to hold it, so he knows that he's going to pay him back. Shimon del Malve is not allowed to use the mashken. Why not? Because if he's using it, it's called ribis. It'll benefit. He gets his money back, plus he got the use of the item. Chachamim saw a problem with people who don't have a way to pay back loans. Poor people. So they came out, they said, well, a second. If we're going to allow the Malve to use the mashken, and every time the Malve is going to use the mashken, it's going to deduct from what the loive owns owes the malve, and in the end of the deal, the loive is going to be going to be able to pay his entire loan, and the malve is going to get paid. Everybody is happy. So they made a takana in the city surah, and they said that in the contract of the loan, besides writing what the guy owes and how much is he going to pay and how is he going to pay, they're also going to write that he gave him a mashkin, and the mashkin is to be used by the malve, and it's going to be deducted by the loan. Now, what happened if the mashkin, something happened to the mashkin? What is the other ways that we can deal with the mashkin now? So let's read the Mishnah. Yavesh ha'ilon, the tree that was giving as a mashkin for the malve to be used, a tree full of fruits. It doesn't mean one tree, a bunch of trees full of fruits. It was used for a mashkin for the malve to benefit and to get his money back. So that tree dried. Or got cut off. Now the shaila is, what is the best way doing with that tree? Shneim asurim boy. The malve and the loive are not allowed to chop off the wood and use it for firewood. So what should we do? Keitzad yaseh. What should we do? Says the Braisa. Ilokach beikarka. I think it's a Braisa. Ilokach beikarka. We're going to buy. I'll tell you in a second if it's a Mishnah Braisa. So okay. I'm going to look later. Okay. You take the wood and you sell it, and you now get money. And now from the money you buy a piece of field with trees and fruits. And then the malve continued to eating. Let's see the Rashi. You have a Sheilon line that begins with the word Adomim. A person that gave a mashkan, a tree to his friends, ki'ani mashkante the surah, on the way of mashkante that was established in the city surah. The kasvi, that they write in the contract of the loan, amongst the things that they write in it. In the end of these years, this field goes back to the loive without the loive owing any money. Le'el daf samach zayin. Shneim asurim, but says Rashi, to do what? What is not allowed to do? Levakei ha'etzim, to chop off the wood, ve'lisroif, and to burn it. Why? The isorif le'loive, that if the loive will burn it, kalikane the malve, the keren of the malve will be finished. What does it mean? He's not going to be able to generate money back like he did till now. Ve'isorif le'malve, and if the malve burns it, kalikane the loive, then the keren of the loive will be finished because he's not going to have any more trees. Back to the Gemara. Now there is a question in the Braisa itself, which Tosfos is going to talk about it. We're going to learn it only in the end of the Gemara because the answer of Tosfos is going to fit good to the answer of the Gemara. Here in the story of the tree drying. Cave and the Chimoti Yovel. As soon as Yovel comes, what happens by Yovel? Yovel comes, all the fields have to go back to the original owner. So now they bought a field from Levi. The malve and the loive use the wood to buy a field from Levi. What happened when Yovel comes? The field goes back to Levi. The cave and the chimoti Yovel, as soon as Yovel comes, the field will go back to the original owner, which is Levi. And now the malve and now the loive. Nobody is going to have anything else. So you finished the keren. So Rav says you're not allowed. So the advice that they gave is not a good advice.
Which advice?
Let's see the Rashi.
Advice?
Let's see the Rashi. Adro Aro. The sod the zushem loichim b'dmei ha'etzim, that field that they buy with the money of the wood, it's going to go back. Now Rashi continues. V'shem ha'yivga Yovel b'toch shnei ha'mashkanta. Maybe Yovel will come true within the years of the mashke. And now the keren of the loive will be finished, and now he's going to have nothing. He's going to have nothing back because the money of the trees went to Levi. Enfer the Eleke Gemara line begins with the word Aro Lemoro. Ocha b'ma'askinon. Do you know the exact case of this Braisa? The Zovinei le'shitin shnin. That the Levi sold them is filled with the trees for 60 years. So what is the answer? 60 years, so it doesn't go back by Yovel. It It doesn't go back by Yovel. How do we know that it doesn't go back by Yovel? The Omar Rav Chis, the Omar Rav Katina. Minayin lemoicher sadeh l'shishim shana. How do we know that if somebody sells a field for 60 years, she'eino chayzeres by Yovel, it doesn't go back by Yovel, rather it goes back at the end of 60 years? Shenemar ve'oretz lo yitimocher letzmisus. When the Torah tells you the mitzvah of Yovel, it says the reason of Yovel that the fields go back because I don't want that the land should be sold forever. Ve'oretz lo yitimocher letzmisus. So we're learning out like this. Mishen Shem Yovel, in a case if Yovel would not, if the mitzvah of Yovel would not exist, what will happen to this field? Nitzmeses, then the field will be sold forever. Yes Shem Yovel, therefore the Torah told us the mitzvah of Yovel. Why? Eino Nitzmeses. We should not be, will not be sold forever. So the mitzvah of Yovel only talks about such fields that will be sold forever. Therefore the mitzvah is that it should not. Yotze Sozu. This field was sold for 60 years. Is go out of the mitzvah of Yovel. Why? Shafal pishen shem Yovel. Because even though there is no mitzvah of Yovel, ain't no nitzmeses, it will not be sold forever. Which means like this. The Torah only cared with the mitzvah of Yovel for such fields that was sold forever. But field was sold for a specific amount of time. The Torah didn't care that they should stay for that amount of time. So therefore, so it's not considered finishing the Keren. Rashi. She'eino chozeres bayovel, says Rashi, elo yamtin at shishim, you should wait till the 60th year, v'tachzor lo, and then it goes back. V'oretz lo yitemocher letzmitzvah, says Rashi, kan piresh lechotaimo shel mitzvahs yovel. Here, he explained to you the reason of mitzvahs yovel. That what? That the Torah doesn't want, the field should be sold forever. Alme, we see from this mitzvah, and a yovel moitzi, the yovel only takes out, elo karka, only such a field, if mitzvah of Yovel would not exist, oisa mitzvahs would be sold forever. Back to the Gemara, but the Gemara doesn't like this teretz. Frag the Eliki Gemara, soif, in the end, lechimotu shitim shnin, when 6 years will come, the field will go back to the original owner. They're also going to finish the Keren. So you're right, they're not going to finish by Yovel. It'll be finished by the end of 60 years. So it's going to be end. And according to Rav, you're not allowed to finish the Keren. Now, let's look at Toises b'Moicher Sodeyu l'Samach Shona. Toises has a very simple question. So what did the Gemara think? When the Gemara answered that you sell the field for 60 years, the Gemara did not know that in the end of 60 years it's going to go back. So why did the Gemara answer and then shlog it up? The question is to begin with. Let's look at Toises. The guy who answered that we're talking about selling a field for 60 years, he thought, since you sold him for such a long time, it's not considered finishing the Keren. But in the answer for the shloga for the Gemara was, but still it's finishing the Keren. Let's go back. Back to the Gemara. And for the Eliki Gemara, Elo b'may askinon. Do you know what we're talking about in the Braise? According to Rav, Bisman she'eina Yovel noyeg. Yovel does not apply. If Yovel does not apply, the field will never go back. If it will never go back, it will never be finished the Keren. So therefore, it was a good thing that to buy another field from Levi. Rashi, Ochi garsino locha b'maskin Bisman she'eina Yovel noyeg. Deloi kar lekano. Now back to the Gemara. Now, not only the Gemara answers Rav's question, the question on Rav, now the Gemara turns around and brings a proof to Rav. That it talks, that the Braise holds that you're not allowed to finish the Keren, and Bisman She'eino Yovel Noy. Ochinami, Mistabes also makes sense to say that it talks about when the Yovel does not apply, and you're not allowed to finish the Keren. This al kadaitar bisman shayovel noeg. And if you're going to come to your mind to say that the Braise talks about when Yovel applies, מכלינן קרנא, and you're allowed to finish the Keren, then it's a kasha on the Braise itself. What's the kasha? Why does the Braise tell me don't burn the wood for fire? Don't chop the wood and burn it for firewood. Why the Braise cares? If you're allowed to finish the Keren, do whatever you want. Chop it, cut it, swallow it, eat it, whatever you want. Do whatever you want with it. Nitzlechei letzivi, chop off to the wood, v'nishkel, and take it, do whatever you want. So if the Braisa says not to do that, rather the Braisa wants that we should buy another field out of it, obviously the Braisa cares that we should not finish the keren. It talks about when Yovel does not apply. Rashi. Nislachei letzivi, says the Rashi. If you don't care to finish the keren, why does he have to buy a piece of field? The malvis should chop off the wood, and he should burn him. Comes the Gemara, back to the Gemara. Now, it doesn't say it clearly in the Gemara. Automatically, if Rav brings a proof to himself, automatically he's a Kashan Shmuel. Now we see from the Braise that we're not allowed to finish the Keren. Well, how do we see it? Because we can't chop off the wood and burn it. According to Shmuel, what will be the big deal? If because of this, what Rav just says, it's not a Kasha and Shmuel. Now the Gemara is going to, it's one answer, but in two ways. The Gemara is going to say, why, when you can use something with a long benefit, don't do it with a short benefit? What it means? If you can do something that you're going to benefit for a long time, versus something that you're going to benefit in a short time, don't do the short time. For example, if you're going to take the wood, chop them, and use it for firewood, how much did you benefit already? Very little, whatever it is. But if you're going to take the wood and sell it, and buy another field, wood trees, the malve will benefit, and the loive, everybody will benefit. And the Gemara is going to tell us how it's going to benefit for both of them. Therefore, use the longer benefit. It's called Eitz Toiva Kamashon, and I would advise the Braisa wants to tell us. Let's read it on the side. Zimnin, sometimes the Sholmushne Mashkanto, when they buy a real field with trees and fruits, the years of the mashkin will be finished, Mikame Yoiva before Yoiva. And who's going to get it after that? The Loive. So the Malve benefit, he got his money back. Then the Loive benefit a few years, and it's win-win. Everybody benefit. Inami, another way they can benefit. The Motule Zuzi, the Loive will get money, Uporiklo, and he will redeem the field with the trees. 4 or 5 years from before Yovel, and those years the Loive will benefit. So again, it's a long-term benefit. It's much better than a short-term benefit. Rashi. Zimlim the Shomushnei Mashkanto, Shonim Shoyoilon Memushkan Loi, the years that the tree was as a mashkan, Yichlo Lifna Yovel will be finished before Yovel. 4 or 5 years. Voisom Shonim, Yoicha Loive Saperois. And those years the Loive will eat the fruits Koidem Shetosh Lebalim before it goes back to the owner. And the truth is, Mechalin Kano, you finish the Keren. So basically, we finished the sugi of Mechalin Kano. Rav learns that the Braisa talks about that you're not allowed to finish the Keren. And the Braisa talks about when the Yovel does not apply, and therefore that's why you're not allowed to burn him. You have to buy a field with trees on it. And Shmuel says no. You can talk even bisman shayovel noig, bisman she'ena yovel noig, it doesn't make a difference, and you're allowed to really finish the keren. But the reason that we're not allowed to chop off the wood and burn it is because Eitz HaToivet to have a long benefit. Now, Tosfos brings a very important point. The point of Tosfos is, if you look at the Braisa itself, it's a contradiction from the beginning of the Braisa to the end of the Braisa. From the beginning of the Braisa tells you, don't burn the wood. So why? Obviously the Braisa holds, not allowed to finish the keren. Then the Braisa says, to do what? To buy a field that they might go back by Yovel. So obviously, you could finish the keren. So which one is it? Finishing the keren. 1 second, we didn't know that. But I'm talking about before we knew the answer that Yovel doesn't apply. As we learned. So the Braisa itself is a contradiction. So instead of asking on Rav, the Gemara should ask a contradiction on the Braisa itself. The Gemara did not know that the Yovel doesn't apply. Let's see the Tosfos. The third Tosfos on the Amud. To To the Braise itself, it's understood. There's no question. It's not a question, a contradiction between the beginning of the Braise to the end of the Braise. In the beginning of the Braise, it sounds like you're not allowed to finish the Keren because you cannot burn the wood. And in the end of the Braise, you're going to finish the Keren because the Yovel is going to come. He's going to take off the field. Even that now, that when you buy the field, it's going to be considered kalikano, because we didn't know from the answer of Bizman Sheino Yovel Noim. The Gemara, and the Braise itself, we could have answered the way the Gemara answers as Shmuel. Nafkemina loive will still be a different to the loive, the lolitzlach letziv, not the chop of the wood. Sometimes the ears of the mashkin will finish before Yovel, or Yisramel Izuzi, or he will get money, and he will benefit. He will redeem the field, he will benefit 2 or 3 years before Yovel. Meaning, in the Braise itself, the Gemara could have answered the same way Shmuel answered. As a Eitza Toive Komashmalo. So the Braise, the Gemara did not ask on the Braise itself, only the Rav. Aval Rav, the Omar Loi Machalina Lekane, but Rav clearly says that you're not allowed to finish the Keren. Koshelei is a kasha on him. The Mikomokom Kalekane, that either way it's finishing the Keren. Why? Because in the end the Karka will not stay by the Loive because it's going to go back to the original owner when Yovel comes. Thank you so much for listening to the show.